Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about how to get a lower software quote. Okay, so many times in my career I have worked for consultancies. So as a software developer working for a consultancy, and then the client was another company or lots of other companies. So even though you're working for this consultancy, you'd be on site at other places, right? And I was working at this one consultancy and they had a new project in, and it was like a WordPress project. So I was the one in the team who had a bit of WordPress experience. So they came to me and said, Eric, you know WordPress, right? And I said, yeah, no, I've used WordPress. I've done some WordPress development, some PHP stuff, no big deal, right? So they brought me the requirements. Well, I looked through them and I started making timescales and some quotes and everything like that. And everything was fine, just quoting on some stuff. And we made a bid to the client, and it was like something like 11 grand or something like that. It was like 11,000 pounds, right? It was a big project. I mean, it wasn't just like a theme or something. It was like interfacing with all these other systems and everything, right? And I felt comfortable with the timescales I had given, right? But it turns out we didn't get the job, and what happened was they went with another company that only did WordPress, right? And the other company was able to quote, I think it was 8 grand, right? And the project manager came back to me and said, we quoted 11 grand and they were able to quote 8 grand. I don't understand. How come ours was so high? I just don't get it. And then other people started rationalizing it, saying they probably are using offshore labor. They're probably not even doing it themselves, or they probably don't understand it, or they're probably going to lose money on it and everything like that. But to me, it made perfect sense, right? Because they only did WordPress, right? And I would use WordPress. I'd used WordPress before, but I didn't use it every day. So for me to get back into it was all doable, but it wasn't like, it wasn't fresh in my mind. Like, if you ever done anything, like if you ever worked at a fast food restaurant where you're just a machine, you're doing it over and over and over and over again. And sometimes it's that way with code. Like, you have projects that are just the same again and again and again, and you know exactly what you're doing. And when somebody asks you how long it will take, you know exactly what to tell them. And there's other things that you've done before, but you haven't done them recently, and so you give yourself a little bit of time there and everything like that. And there was other things that probably influenced it too. First of all, they only did WordPress. They were PHP developers. Their daily rate was, I'm sure it was a lot less than mine. Even if my time scales were lower, my rate was probably higher. So it probably took a lot longer, right? And it could be that they lost money on it or whatever, but I didn't really think so. I think they specialized in that one thing and they did it, right? So this is something I talk to clients about a lot when I give them a quote. Sometimes, and this was to make me a bad salesman, right? I say, maybe you should talk to some other developers too. Just get some, get like 3 different quotes just so you have an idea what it is. Hopefully ours is reasonable. You're confident with it. You're confident with our understanding of the project. All that kind of stuff. But talk to other ones too, because you never know what other people are charging. You might be able to get a better deal, and whatever. And I had a team in India that I'd hired, and they did a bunch of projects for me, and they did a pretty good job. But then we needed a game, right? And I thought, so I just asked them, do you guys think you could do a game? And the answer, of course, was, yeah, we could do a game. But they had never done one before. They'd done like Hello World projects and stuff like that. Oh God, it was such a mistake. I wish I'd thought better of it, because I could have gone to somebody else who did it all the time. They probably would have charged a lot less, because they didn't know how to do business apps too. They just focused on game. That was a different skill set. But I had these guys learning on the job, and the output was terrible. It cost me a lot of money and things like that. So my point today is, before I ramble on too much, is that if you're going to go for a quote, it makes sense to talk to more than just one person. It doesn't mean that one developer is bad or they're trying to cheat you, because it's not a commodity skill. Everybody does things differently, right? If you go to a baker, if you go to a chef, right, and you go to one guy who bakes cakes all day long, and you say, can you make lobster? And he said, yeah, I can make a lobster, but he hasn't done it in a while, so it takes him a little bit longer. And then you go to one who just makes lobster all day because you don't really care about the cakes and all the jack of all trades type of things. He'll be able to do it a lot faster. He may be able to do it cheaper because he knows what he's doing, right? This is why we focus on just apps, right? And if I go with the development team, I always check to see, like, game developers are much different than business app developers. hybrid developers are different than native developers, right? If you can find somebody who just focuses on that one thing, you know, they're fresh. And the jack of all trades things, it's good if it's you, but it's not good if it's somebody you hire. So anyway, get 3 different quotes if you're gonna get a project. Even if you come to me, go to other people too, right? And that's my point today. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. That's it for today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. As long as I'm still breathing.